friends, and welcome back to our homestead. Today I want to talk to you about treating your tomatoes for early blight. What is early blight? Unfortunately, I think we have it. I already took down a few leaves and I will show you a picture up close what it looks like. Early blight, if it's not treated, will spread very quickly through the entire garden of tomatoes, and not just tomatoes, but it can be on peppers and zucchinis, that sort of thing. And they will spread and they can destroy your plants. So early blight is a fungal infection that's seen on the leaves, and it usually starts at on the bottom of the leaves, closer to the ground. And it's those brown circular like little dots, right? And they're very small. They can start as 1/4 inch diameter, 1/2 inch diameter, and they can spread out through the entire plant and go up higher on the branches as well, on the leaves above. So one of the very classic symptoms of early blight is those concentric rings that you see. So if you look at this picture, you can see that they're circle upon circle around another circle. And so if you go in your garden with a magnifying kind of like glass, or you take a picture and zoom in, you can see those circles. Early blight can spread very, very quickly, unfortunately, and the certain weather conditions are ideal for these spores to spread through the entire garden of your tomatoes and destroy them. So early blight and other diseases thrive in certain weather conditions, such as humidity. Welcome to Northeast New England. It's hot, it's humid, and there's absolutely no airflow. There's not a single leaf moving right now. That means it's lots and lots of humidity. The temperature is like 91 right now, hot and humid. And that is a perfect breeding ground for early blight and other fungal diseases, right? Also, because it's been raining almost every day, that's too much moisture. See, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis, they don't like to be watered from the top. They like to be watered from the bottom. That's why I have irrigation system for them. But it's been raining. And because it's been raining, too much humidity, too much moisture, and fungus is thriving. And that is why I like to prune things to give more airflow. That's why I like to not to plant my tomato plants way too close. They need airflow. And that's why we're going to be treating them today with a home remedy. Early blight looks just like this. So I just took down a couple of leaves. I want to show you. See how it's a circle? I'm going to try to zoom in even more. Circle upon circle upon circle. And then the whole leaf dries up. But I also see the same circles over here. That's how I know it's early blight and I need to treat them ASAP. Some people don't remove leaves, but I do. I remove all the leaves. You know, it was quiet 5 minutes ago. As soon as I came out in the backyard, these roosters are making all the noise in the world. All right, so I'm going to be using hydrogen peroxide to treat it. 99 cents for a 32-ounce bottle of hydrogen peroxide. What's important is that we always go with a 3%, nothing else. See, if you're using a food grade hydrogen peroxide, then the concentration will be much stronger. And this is what we use, if we have cuts, abrasions, that sort of thing, to disinfect it. Okay, I also use it in laundry sometimes if I need to bleach something the natural way. All right, so let's talk about hydrogen peroxide. And you may ask me, well, Lilia, it's not organic. All right, yes, it is a chemical. Oh my word, these roosters, unbelievable. This is a chemical, but so is the water. Water has, a chemical compound of H2O. Hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. And hydrogen peroxide is not a stable compound like water. See, water can be water in the atmospheric environment, but hydrogen peroxide is not. as soon as hydrogen peroxide is released into the atmosphere in the open air, right, it begins to dissociate from hydrogen and turns into water and O2 gas. So that is what we sometimes see bubbly if we're pouring on a cut, on abrasion. You can always even, well, not always, but you can even see it when you're spraying it on the plant leaves as well. That little fizzy stuff, that is O2 gas. And that is exactly what actually going to disinfect the leaves and treat them against the diseases, all right? So I do know that this is a home remedy. It's not 100% proof, but it's a good little aid, home remedy, to help you to treat early blight on your tomatoes. So this is what we're using today. So here's my pruning. Let me show you. See, like some of them have those circle things I was telling you about. And it's a circle within a circle. I don't know why my phone doesn't want to zoom in very well. Some of them are just dry. Like some of them, this is just dry. So it's not exactly disease. It's just got dry, trampled on, maybe walked on. Okay? But here, let me show you. Something looks fungal. I'm not sure what it is. But the edges have different colors. Of course, I see some aphids. Why not? So this is what I'm going to be removing and spraying today. I try to remove anything that is touching the ground. See, like this branch right here? So I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut it off. Because it was touching the ground, so it's off. So now there's plenty of airflow underneath the bush. Less chance for any kind of fungus to grow. Here's another example, right? See, this branch is touching the ground. It's a prime breeding ground for any kind of disease. So I'm gonna go ahead, come and trim it right off. So the bottom has plenty of airflow. So even though this may not be fungal, but this one looks very suspicious. Whew, it's hot and humid. All right, so the sun is going down. It's already behind the tree line, and that means it's safe for me to go ahead and spray my tomatoes now. I do not recommend it doing it in the daytime during the sun, because it actually can burn a little bit. All right, so what is the ratio? Okay, I have done a little research, and everyone is doing something a little bit different. And I found that as a preventative, they can be done once a couple of weeks, and it's usually a lower ratio of hydrogen peroxide to water. But if there is already recorded infection or illness or early blight, then the concentration is a little bit stronger, and it needs to be repeated every couple of days for about 3 sessions. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So since I already saw some early blight on my tomatoes, I need to treat it. So I have a really big spray here. You can use a bottle spray, it can be in a smaller one, it doesn't matter really, it's whatever you've got. But for 1 gallon of water, I'm going to be using 10 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. Of course, again, I'm going to say that it's best if you test it on a few leaves, maybe, and then check on that plant in 24 hours, 48 hours, and see how it tolerated. But I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I'm spilling already. And I'm going to go ahead and use 10 tablespoons per gallon. Some people go ahead and use 10 to 12, but I'm going to use only 10 tablespoons today. And I'm going to repeat this whole process again in 2 days. All right, so I have lots to measure here. So I'm going to start measuring 10 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, not gonna bore you. All right, so I'm gonna put a cover on, I'm gonna pump it, and I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying. I like to spray first, just to go through and spray the tops. Just spray all of the tops, and then on the way back, I'm gonna spray it from underneath because it's important that I get from the bottom of each leaf as well. So this is heavy. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna go ahead in the garden now. Who said gardening was light and easy, huh? Okay friends, so I just want to encourage you to treat your garden naturally, and hydrogen peroxide is part of the natural home remedies. So I'm going to update you in 3 days after I finish, actually not 6 days, 6 days after I finish all the 3 rounds of treatment. And I'm going to show you how my tomatoes survived the treatment and early blight, and I pray that my tomatoes continue to produce and be healthy through the entire season. So friends, be encouraged and try something new.
You a good boy? Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. You a good boy, buddy. You a good boy. Yes, you are, beautiful savage boy.